Hey guys, and welcome to Curl Dislike. These are basically videos of things I dislike, so you might agree with them, might not. With that being said, today's topic is actually continuing what I was basically talking about in June, where I was talking about basically the car stuff. And I know I released the roommate one first, but this was supposed to be released before the roommate one, but I needed to do something before I released this video, and it was a little research. But without further ado, today's topic is going to be car expenses. And car expenses, as I've been saying it in the past videos where I talked about when your car breaks down, or where you need to replace parts to your car, driving with idiots. I mean, with this one, it's more of taking care of your car. And when you take care of your car, it becomes quite tough, because it's like taking care of a child, because the car is not going to take care of itself. So oil changes, gas, tune-ups, making sure your wheels are great, putting air into your wheels, alignments, making sure your muffler is good, the air conditioning. So there's so many things to a car that you have to basically take care of. And one of the things I'm going to begin with is how expensive it is. Now, if you guys get gas, obviously gas is like the main essential for cars. Now, I basically buy gas from Exxon, so my experiences is only going to be from Exxon, because that's where I only get gas from. And Exxon, for now, I know regular is around $2.50 towards $2.80-ish for regular. So if you think about it, if you have a 10-gallon tank, and let's just say you're basically filling it all up and you're almost dead, you're basically if it's $2.50, you're spending around $25 just to fill up your tank, which is not bad. But if you think about it, it's going to be on a weekly basis, so you're basically wasting $100. I could continue on and saying, well, now it's going to be 3.20 for plus, and plus would be that would be $32. $32 that you'll basically be spending, around 32. And if you get in, that'd be a weekly basis, so that's what, 32, 60, 80, I mean 90, not 80, 90, $128. So it builds up. It just continues to build up. And if you go super like I do, because I like to have my car with good quality gas, and not only that, the more modern your car is, the better it works with super, like better quality gas, like super. So the older your car is, the better it is that you get regular, because your car is more your car is built for regular gas, not for super or plus. But plus is basically like a little better version. It's in between basically regular and super, so it's like a mixture of both. But it's not like the best, but it could still run with plus. But a lot of old school cars from like the 80s and I'm gonna just say anything under 95 is pretty much gonna be using regular gas. Now, if I'm incorrect, just let me know in the comments below. But that's how basically I was taught for gases. More modern cars prefer more super, but that all depends on whether you get better mileage from your plus or from your super or from your regular, and you have to test that out and write that down. So that's on the whole much other level of statistics that you have to do for your car. So it's like, figure it out. So for me, super cost, super's around right now $3.55, I believe. So I'll be spending like around, what, if I'm gonna fill up my 10-gallon car, that'll be like 35.50 cents. So it's pretty expensive. Now you think about it, I do this every 2 weeks. I mean, not every 2 weeks, every week. So the expenses to my car go up pretty freaking high. Now that'll be around 140, 150, around there. I'm not gonna do the math right now for that one, but yeah, it's gonna be around there, and that's every month for 4 weeks. So it does take up a lot. Now, next thing you have to do, which is another prime essential that you have to do for your car, and if you don't do it, you're basically just gonna kill off your engine. And if you kill off your engine, you're basically gonna need a whole new engine, and that's just gonna make you lose a lot of money. And yeah, that's not fun, because destroying your engine could to get a new one, and a replacement will cost around $500 to $2,000, depending on your car, depending on the year, depending on the manufacturer. So all of this gets into consideration. So how do we take care of our oil? By making sure we get our oil, our engine, by making sure we get motor oil. And we have to get the motor oil for our engines, and then we have to continue making. Depending on what car you have, you get your type of motor oil for. So for me, my car, I use I believe it's 30W, 30W with 10W. I can't remember the thingy. But that's for my car. I use good premium quality motor oil for my car. So I use Castrol because that's pretty much one of the best brands for motor oil. So I use the best brands for it, and that can be pricey. The expenses to motor oil is costing more. I know there are certain mechanics that they allow you to bring your own oil and filter, and they'll just charge you just to basically take out the oil and recycle the oil, because that's basically what mechanics do when they get this motor oil. But when you do this, they basically charge you like around $20, around 25 bucks, just to basically change that up. But if you don't, they probably will use their oil, and they'll cost you around, depending, 30. Let's just say if they're just using their cheap brand motor oil, that they get like a whole case of them, buying them. But if you want the good quality stuff and they do that for you, then you're looking around 50. And this is basically every time you get 30,000 miles. And yeah, that just, no, it's not 30,000. There are 3,000 more miles to your car. Yeah, it's like around 3,000 more miles to your car, and then you have to replace your car. Unless your car is more newer, then you just need to get the different type of motor oil for it. And a lot of times, when you get a new car, basically the dealer does it, changes your oil for a whole year, so that's a thumbs up for that. But still, if it's not a brand new car off the box and you have to spend this money to get the oil, yes, it's going to be a price, and you're just going to have to travel to that place. And who knows if it's in your same town, because if it's not in your same town, then you're going to have to travel, and then you're going to be like, yeah, I don't want to go to like an hour and a half away from here and just lose some gas just to get my oil changed. I could just do it right here in the mechanic. So you can do it right there. For me, my motor oil costs, and I bring my own oil in, it's around 30. Every visit for that I do to change the oil. So after I get my motor oil changed, it's like 30. I normally don't get the filter because I don't know what filter I use, but I could probably lower that to 25 if I brought my own filter, but I got to figure that one out. So that's another one that brings more expense to your car. Transmission oil, from what I know, you don't really change that. If they tell you to change that, question that one, because they're from my best friend's experience, he told me never to change that. So I'm basically also getting information from my best friend, because he was a mechanic. He still does it from time to time as a side job just to make a little extra money, but it basically came from him, because he was the one that made me go, you're getting this car. I mean, well, he checked out the car and he's like, yeah, you can get this car. This car is good. And I bought my car used, so my best friend helped me out with that. So it was all things I had to learn from him. Now, wheels are another thing. Normally they have a good special where you buy like 4 wheels, and they'll give it to you like for $220 for 4 wheels. So that's always a good deal. But let's just say you don't need all 4 wheels, and your mechanic's like, well, you only have one bad wheel because it popped. The wheel popped, so we can give you a new wheel, and it's always around $80 when it's new. If it's used, because there's some people who just buy the whole new set, and they were like, well, the wheels are still good. No, just replace the whole thing just because one popped. So they'll sell you like a used one for 40, 50, but it all depends. And I recommend just getting the new one, but it's still, and then buy the combo, and you're gonna, like, again, you're gonna look at $220. Now, brakes are another thing that you have to also change from time to time, and those are expensive, especially if you have to change the brakes and the little rim thing where the brakes just clash into each other, just to like close, to make sure that it stops the wheel from rotating. That's also very expensive. The last time I had to do my brakes change for one side, I spent around $248 with tax and everything included, and that was for them to change the wheel, the rim thingy, brake from the rim, and the brakes as well. So it was all a combo deal just for one side, just to take out all of that and change it, because you have to change it after once it looks like all rusty and it all looks like it just will just slide off like this. It has to just basically lock into place. So if the rim just keeps doing this, I'm gonna keep calling the rim, I don't know but if that disc keeps going like this, then you have to change your brakes. And especially if you start hearing and then you stop, then you start up your car, well, yeah, you need to change your brakes. So that's actually, again, very pricey, especially changing your brakes. So, and it also depends on your car too, but normally all cars have the same brakes, whether you have the one where you have a piece, you take it out and the brakes are inside one side on each side, or you have that one where you have to basically disassemble the whole thing and then put it back into it together, and you have to like set up in the floor. Trust me, I've seen that happen with mechanics. I never did it, but it was pretty obnoxious. And my newest one that I actually finally did, because this is why I postponed this video for, it was supposed to be for last week, but I couldn't do it, and that's for tune-ups. Tune-ups are actually pricey. Now, if you're lucky, you're gonna pay $50. But normally tune-ups go from $50 to $200. And basically I paid $200, and that's because depending on your car, the more cylinders you have, the more spark plugs you have, they're gonna have to change all of them. And yeah, you're gonna have to change the spark plugs after you hit 60,000 miles. Once you hit past 60,000 miles, you basically get a tune-up. What they do is just basically change the spark plug. Sometimes the majority of the time they have to change the tubing as well. So your car could start up better than before. I was getting up to that point where it was just like, so that's how you know you basically need a tune-up, because your car normally, when you turn it on, it just goes. So, but if you go, then you're looking to get a tune-up done. And again, I did the research online, and it basically said, yeah, after 60,000 miles, you should get your tune-up. So that's basically what I did. But yeah, it cost me $200, and oh man, that's another expense that I was just like, oh my goodness. Mufflers, you normally don't really change mufflers, but that costs around 100, 140, because that's a really big piece of aluminum, I believe that's what it is. But yeah, that's pretty pricey, depending also on your car again. But yeah, am I forgetting one thing? Oh, nope. Changing your battery, yeah. That's like around 150. That was 150 for me, and then I had to return the battery to AutoZone, and my old battery, and I got $18 back, but still, it was like 150, and then you get $18 back, but it's still the price. Even though I spend $132 for the battery, regardless, it's expensive. Cars are really, really, really expensive to take care of. It's a baby is more expensive, but it's like owning a child, and you have to take care of your car, because if you don't take care of your car is just gonna break down on you, and it's gonna be over. If you have to change the transmission, that's basically where you go, yeah, this car is basically gonna be like total, because I'm not gonna fix that, because transmissions do go for $1,000. And that really does depend on your car again, but transmissions are very expensive, and transmission oil is the one you don't really change. You keep that transmission oil. You can add more to it, but you don't change. Antifreeze is another one you have to basically pay for as well. From time to time they had to check that, and that's also another expense. And lastly, heating and cooling. I know there's where I take my car, the mechanic is normally charging always people like around 70 to 80, depending on the season. Like more towards the summer, he bumps it up $10 more, because it's like the summertime, and the summertime everybody wants heating and cooling. I mean, they want their air conditioning to work, and if it's just air conditioning just to fix it, it's $70, $80. But if they notice a problem where they have to basically shut off the whole thing and then look with it, UV light just to make sure to see if there's no little gash or pipe that's broken that releases air, then they have to basically use that UV light to basically check to make sure that the air conditioner is not, because then that's gonna cost you a little bit more. Instead of it being like $70 or $80 that they're charging you, it's gonna be a little bit more because now they need to replace that tubing or replace something within that section where it's just like, well, the air conditioner is not gonna work, so we can put the air in it and make sure that works, but you're gonna need this piece. No, if this piece is not available, yeah, we got a problem. But I'm not gonna. A lot of mechanics shouldn't really basically, oh, I'm putting the air in, that's it. And you got air conditioning, and there's like a malfunction in there. No, you're gonna basically pay maybe around 120, 150, depending on what piece you need. But yes, the expenses to cars are very, very pricey. And if you guys have any experience with your car and how expensive it was to basically take it out of the dealer or the repair shop, and they were like, well, you owe us like $1,000 and we just did a tune-up, and you're like, leave that in the comments below so I can be like, damn. But other than that, I got a special thanks for you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.